On the morning of November 6, 1996, I was at work and I was talking to some of my co-workers, and I noticed my speech was starting to slur. And at first I didn't put the pieces together, but then I walked into the office and some co-worker said, "Hey, you've got a phone call," and I picked up the phone and my speech was getting worse, and at this point I realized something was going on. And I sat down and I was starting to become very dizzy with vertigo, and I asked one of my co-workers to call 911, and at this point I tried calling my wife at work and I was barely able to dial the telephone, and she says as soon as she heard my voice she knew what was happening to me. Both of our parents have had strokes previously to this, so I recognized the symptoms immediately. When I got in the ambulance people started talking to me about the the drug that they can now give you, the clot buster for strokes, and preparing me for that. Although once I got to the hospital and they did the CAT scan and stuff, they decided that I didn't need it. It was a minor stroke in my right cerebellum, and that was the reason for the vertigo. I had no residual visual symptoms, shall we say. I had a lot of vertigo from the strokes, and then all the other typical symptoms that go along with stroke, short-term memory problems, and eventually depression and anxiety.
Well, for me, he went into depression afterwards, and although he was working full-time, he slept a lot. He would come home and immediately fall asleep, get up, have supper, and fall asleep again. And it was a while before we got some help for that.
When I went to my doctor and told him what was going on, he says, "Well, I've never heard of that occurring with a stroke before." And it was shortly after that I'd heard a radio interview with the Mary Freebed stroke support staff person at that time, and I thought, hey, this might be a place to get some answers. And I came and I found more answers at the stroke support group than I ever did from my medical doctor. Although once I started coming to the stroke support group, finding out the commonalities that we all shared, I was able to go back to my doctor and say, "Hey, Doc, this is going on, and don't tell me that other people don't have it, because I'm now associating with other people who have had strokes, and it's a common issue. The fatigue, the depression, and other issues that occur after a stroke." By coming to the stroke support group and talking to other people that were going through depression issues and stuff, we started talking about the different medications, because as a layperson you don't realize that there are a half a dozen different SSRIs out there, or MOAs, and all the other drugs that can be given to you for treatment. And through some of the guest speakers that were brought in, especially one that comes to my mind is Dr. Lear, who was a neuropsychologist who's now retired from Mary Freebed. But he explained that there's now over 137 different brain chemicals that they've identified, and when you have a stroke, your brain is injured and your brain chemicals go out of balance. And quite often, this imbalance that occurs is one of the causes for depression after a stroke.
I have learned a lot from the stroke support group, and we also have a good time, we laugh, and we support each other. And I have a great group of friends there.
She's become very active. She organizes a number of the formerly organized a number of the potlucks and different things that we've had over the years. And it is a good group of people, and our motto is no whiners are allowed. If you don't come to the stroke support group at least with an attitude that you want to get better, and we can't reinforce your positive attitude, then we're failing. But worst of all, you're not in the right frame of mind to join us yet, because we look at our strokes as I hate to use the word opportunity, because nobody wants to have one. You wouldn't deliberately wish to have one, but at least we support each other and we can laugh with each other because we know where we're coming from.